Hello again, everybody, and welcome to 4-Star Chicago Sports. This is the Billy There podcast. And boys and girls, we don't know what's going to happen at this moment. We're having some technical difficulties. I'm really sick and under the weather, and I'm just trying to play on the team right now. Kyle's trying to fix his microphone so he can hop on the show with me. He's having a little difficulties. We got Jason out with some family stuff right now. But we're going to try and forge ahead here just for a couple of minutes, see if we can get this thing going, talk a little Bears football with y'all. So bear with us, and we'll be right back.
Windy City banners rocking 4 stars align. Dynasty dreams rise, Bulls in their prime. Cubs curse shattered, the victory divine. Fields be running, clock ticking on my timeline. Shot-town heroes, legends never fade. Black Hawks flying, cutting ice with the blade. White Sox diamonds, the Southside parade. 4 stars shine bright, legacies they made. Mike with the crown, air rain, no dispute. Sweetness in the backfield, Walter in pursuit. Bear down Sunday's midfield, battles cute. Chicago.
Hello again, everybody, boys and girls. As I said, Jason's out. I am about as sick as a dog right now, and Kyle is having some microphone issues. So we're going to try and forge ahead here just for a few minutes. If Kyle can't get this thing going, it's going to be a rather short show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm trying to keep my head above water here. But as you know, we wanted to reflect just a little bit on the 2025 season that the Chicago Bears had. Obviously, you know, where we ended up is not anywhere where we expected. You know, the season started 0-2, getting pasted by the Detroit Lions 52-21, losing by 30 points, and it was gloom and doom at that point. Not a lot of faith in, you know, I guess I could say a lot of people scorn from years past where you just think this isn't going to work right. But then the magic started happening as we got into the rest of the schedule. Dallas, Las Vegas, Washington, New Orleans, and the Bears started rolling, and they started getting hot, started making believers out of all of us. They did turn into the cardiac Bears. There was a lot of people from week 1 to week 10 that still didn't believe in Caleb. And, you know, people like, let's see, Colin Cowherd, who absolutely hated, I shouldn't say hated, but absolutely didn't believe in Caleb Williams. And he's one stubborn analyst. But I'll tell you this, if he can turn Colin Cowherd around, he should be able to turn everybody else around. Because right now, when you go across America, the only people that think that Caleb Williams isn't the man are from Detroit or from Green Bay. But their reality check will come as the years continue to pass. How did Colin Cowherd change his mind? He did an elegant piece just the other day. I'm going to play it for you right now because I think every Bears fan should hear it.
I know Caleb Williams is inconsistent, maybe regularly, but context matters and talent matters more. Caleb's a little like the gifted child with quirks. You know, can't tie his shoes, sloppy homework, desk's a mess, but he might be playing Carnegie Hall before he's 11. And here's what makes this fascinating. The Bears have never had that kid, ever. Chicago has spent decades teaching B students. Now they've got a prodigy and the right tutor. I don't know if it's a Pope from Chicago thing, but a franchise that's been a mess for decades suddenly looks blessed. The NFL has changed a lot over the last decade. We all know it's more offensive, that's obvious, but the quarterback has changed too. Bigger, stronger, a lot more power. Elite athleticism is now standard, not rare. And maybe, just maybe after Josh Allen, the most raw power at the position is Caleb Williams. And that forces me to reevaluate what actually matters. With quarterbacks like Goff, Stafford more stationary. You call the play, hopefully it works. If it doesn't, the play's over. With Caleb, you call the play, and then maybe another play gets started. That's the difference. It starts classical, then turns into jazz. Bruno Mars jumping mid-song into a Cirque du Soleil's trapeze. Same ticket, completely different show. That's why I don't grade him on the same scale as his peers. Why should I? I don't see anybody else except Josh Allen doing what he does. Yeah, some guys throw the ball more accurately, more consistently, but that's not the full job anymore. Caleb has made the impossible repeatable. You can't fit a square peg into a round hole, and you can't shove Caleb Williams into a pocket. He's almost better when things go wrong. It's like a stand-up comic with a tight, polished set. Then a heckler jumps in, and then suddenly the comic's way funnier, turning disruption into gold. That's why I grade Caleb on a curve the Cubs would be jealous of. Not because he's perfect, because he's rare. The Bears finally have the gifted kid, the one teachers whisper about. And because you don't teach him the test, you just make sure the building survives the music.
And there you go. And see, it's a sentiment with Packers fans and Lions fans across the board that Caleb isn't the man, and that's fine. As time goes by, as I said a few minutes ago, you all learn. If you guys didn't watch him play off structure and just do some impossible things with the football that have never been done before or seen before, I think as time continues to go by, you continue to see that, and he'll make you a believer. You know, I when it comes to it, see, when you look at Josh Allen and you look at Caleb Williams, Colin's got a point there. Who else is doing it like them? Lamar certainly isn't. Stafford certainly isn't. There aren't people that can do the things that they can do. They're separate. They're special. They're gifted. And after what happened in Buffalo, maybe he heads out of Buffalo. Let's just hope he doesn't head up to Minnesota. The Buffalo press conference today was an absolute debacle, an absolute mess. I feel sorry for their organization. I feel sorry for their fans. I'm glad that's not happening here. I thought today, listening to Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles, continued to give us hope for the future, and hope that we are in the right hands. And I guess you can't really call it hope anymore, because you see the results after just 1 year, from what Ben Johnson was able to do and how he was able to pull this thing together. This team was resilient. It was unbelievably inconsistent, but consistently great when they needed to be. And, that doesn't happen. And how do you build on that? You just continue to build and become better. You add your blocks. And we're going to find out as we get into this off season what blocks are going to be added to take the Bears to that next level. I know there's a lot of people I'm seeing on X that say Bears won't make the playoffs next year. Bears aren't good enough. This was luck. I don't see luck in Caleb Williams. I don't see luck in Ben Johnson. I see two astute leaders who will continue to lead the Bears into the future. And I think they're going to do it in grand fashion by continuing to dominate the North, continuing to dominate the NFC, continuing to dominate the entire league. When this is all said and done, we'll see where it's at. We'll see if I'm right. We'll see if all the Bears fans that believe this are right now. Caleb hasn't done anything this year but make me more of a believer. Somebody who wasn't a believer at the beginning of the year of his talent and who he was. He certainly turned me around. He certainly turned the likes of a Colin Coward around. He's continued to just have us all in awe with the plays against the Packers, the throws against Cleveland, the pass in the Rams game to send it to overtime. And I think you're going to see more of that. And I think you're going to see a more consistent under center passer as time goes along. What's going to happen here for the Bears moving forward? That's a really big question, because there's a lot of mystery. Who's going to be left in the secondary? You have a lot of players that might not be here. Big names: Kevin Byard, Jaquan Brisker, Nashawn Wright, Gardner Johnson, Andrew Billings, Jonathan Owens, Zacchaeus, Theo Benedette. The list goes on and on. There's 21 free agents that the Chicago Bears have to make decisions on. What do you do? How do you determine? Do you look at Jaquan Brisker and say, does he fit the scheme? Does he fit the defensive scheme? Is this someone you're worth bringing back? You heard today Ryan Poles almost give a ringing endorsement that Kevin Byard will be back. Does that mean we've seen the last of Jaquan Brisker? I believe so. I don't personally believe that Brisker will be back. He did voice displeasure with the scheme during the season. There are a number of things that would, for me, not bring him back into this, bring him back into the fold. You have some injured players. Zay Frazier, Brian Poles said today he's back. He's going to have to earn a roster spot next year. Terrell Smith should be back. Jalen Johnson should be at full health. Hopefully you have a great off-season workout conditioning program to alleviate these soft tissue injuries of Kyler Gordon. Um, and again, the long list of players when it comes to players like Ryan Bates, Nick McLeod, Chris Williams, Jalen Jones, Durham Smythe, Dominic Robinson, Elijah Hicks, Devin Duvernay, DeMarco Jackson, Jordan McFadden, Scott Daly. These are all people that the Bears have to make some important decisions on. Who would I like to see back? I wasn't a big fan a few weeks ago of bringing back CJ Gardner-Johnson, but seeing him on the field together with Kyler Gordon against the Rams kind of changed my mind a little bit. I really like what I saw in that combo. I know CJ can be a head case. He can be a problem with coverage. And I understand those things, but he brings a different element. He brings fire. He brings that energy, and he has big splash playability on the defensive side of the ball. We saw it a few times in his short stint here, so he's someone I'd like to bring back. Durham Smythe, someone I'd probably also like to bring back. We don't know what's going to happen with two players, Cole Kmet and one DJ Moore. I'm not going to get into this long DJ Moore debate of whether DJ should be on the Bears or he shouldn't be on the Bears, this $110 million contract, this, that, and the other. You know what? For me, when it comes to DJ Moore, I would like to see him here. I'd like to see Rome here. I'd like to see them all back and that offense flying high. I know there's been a lot of debates about DJ. Everyone knows my love for DJ. There's been questions about DJ. And I'll be the first to admit, it is a little puzzling at times when he does loaf, because he has loafed and it doesn't make sense. But he's still one hell of a football player. He doesn't drop balls. He plays through injuries. He, again, the loafing. That's the one thing I think the Bears have to come to him and say, hey, man, every time you loaf, here's a $100,000 fine or something, But I would also beg people to go look at Roma Dunze. Roma Dunze loafed late in that game as well. It's been talked about. They have to get both of these guys working together and working 100% and giving 100% effort 100% of the time. A couple of things we didn't see in that Rams game, which again is puzzling to me when you're playing to go to a Super Bowl and you're playing to go do something like DJ Moore, and half of these Bears have never done before, playing an NFC championship game. So albeit discouraging as I thought it was, I still think if we go to that play, that situational play was a terrible call, in my opinion. In my opinion alone. Everyone has their different opinion. Did DJ loaf? Yes. Was the pass bad? I thought it was a little underthrown. Maybe you didn't. That's fine. Maybe DJ didn't flatten out. That's fine. The receiver did. All in all, you were getting your chunk yards, you're moving up the field. In that situation, you're trying to get in position to kick a field goal, move on to the NFC Championship game. I thought all three of those things were wrong. The call, I thought the toss was short, and I thought DJ loafed. All three of those things can be true, and the Bears didn't move on. It's a learning experience. But as we talk about rebuilding this roster, I don't think for one single solitary second, I think this roster improves without DJ Moore on it. Not in the least little bit. So let's see how this plays out. Unfortunately, the smart move, if the Bears are looking for cap space and they want to make a big splash, would say a Max Crosby, sign a Trey Hendrickson, or maybe go after a Joey Bosa. The way that they have to do it is possibly trade DJ Moore, maybe get DJ to restructure. We'll have to see how this thing plays out. It's going to be very interesting. As we move forward here, and the Bears offseason comes through. Continues to come to fruition. You could see some possible cuts, man. DeAndre Swift and Cole Kmet. Likely, probably not. But there's a couple places you can save money, about 17.5. If you were, I don't think they will get cut. But you do have Roschon Johnson, who I don't think will be back on this football team. And if you're favoring maybe DeMarco Jackson, maybe Tremaine Edmonds doesn't return to this team, and he's a cap casualty. there's a lot of things that are going to go on, and 4-Star Chicago Sports is going to be right here with you all the way through this entire offseason on Mondays, on Wednesdays, on Thursdays. And we're going to debut a new show here down the road on Sundays. It's going to be exclusively dedicated to the Chicago Bears offseason, the moves, getting insights. Hopefully we'll have some special guests from some Bears beat reporters on this show. We want to make that show a little bit special and derived especially towards the Chicago Bears. So there are some things that are coming there are some things that are coming here in the future for 4-Star Chicago Sports. We try to work them out. So stick with us, and we'll keep you in tuned. And as it comes to some of these Bears free agents, I did want to touch on the Theo Benedett. Theo Benedett is actually signed to an exclusive rights contract as a free or an exclusive rights free agent, a player with fewer than 3 accrued seasons on an expiring contract who has no leverage. If he's offered a 1-year league minimum salary tender, the player must sign it or sit out, as he can't negotiate with other teams. Though the team that doesn't tender them, they fully become unrestricted. So if the Bears don't tender him a contract, he will become unrestricted. I do believe you will see him back in the fold, Theo Benedett. I think he will be back in the fold with the Chicago Bears. He played an important part for the Bears. You can't underestimate how important it is to have a swing tackle, a guy who can play multiple positions. As we saw Benedett play on the left side, we play him on the right side. Against the Rams, obviously, they did not have confidence in in Theo Benedett leading the charge. But I think in a regular season game, I think Theo Benedett is a very valuable piece to the Bears bench. So hopefully we'll be able to see this, and we can go from there. I'm trying to check out on the chat with you guys. As I said earlier, Kyle had some technical difficulties, couldn't get the mic working. Jay is out with some family business today, and I'm working under the weather, guys. I'm trying to hold it together. I think I got a pretty bad flu coming on here, so I'm sticking it out with you. I love y'all, and I really appreciate y'all hanging out with my little sick ass while we get through this, man. The one thing I will say before I don't really want to talk too much about this DJ Moore thing anymore. The one thing, and I've always stuck up with this guy, I love DJ Moore, but I will tell you the fact that I watched 2 press conferences, I watched Ben Johnson say, hey, that play was my fault. I watched Caleb Williams go, hey, that play was my fault. And I'm a little upset with DJ that it's all crickets. And he ducked the media. He ducked the media twice, actually, after the game and clean out your locker day. That does bother the shit out of me a little bit. DJ, man, step up. Just say, hey, man, that was my fault, like your coach did, like your quarterback did. And take responsibility, because as I said, I think it was all 3 of them. So all 3 of them should take responsibility for that play. But that's just me. Scrolls, I disagree personally, and that's just my opinion. I don't believe Rome is clear heads and shoulders above DJ Moore on this roster. We've been having a private conversation on the 4-Stars group in our chat about this, and I'm just going to say this. This is all I can say. DJ did have a diminished role to start the season, which led to diminished stats. And this is all, of course, my opinion and my opinion solely. Led to diminished stats. When DJ's number was called upon, DJ Moore shined like a star, and the star that he is. Against the Green Bay Packers twice, came up with a big catch against Cleveland from a hell of a throw from Caleb Williams. The loafing, as I said, is a problem. But Rome did it too, and there's footage of it out there. So if you don't believe me, go take a look at it. He was loafing in that game as well. But when you talk about targets to receptions, talking about efficiency, Rome Odunze is head over heels thus far surpassed. And it's not even close. You guys can look up the game logs. I've done it. I put it out there. I wish I could have loaded him in here. And yes, DJ, as you're saying, Prophet, DJ may be gone. I don't know if that's the smartest move for the Chicago Bears to let DJ Moore go. You know, you got a bunch of Rolls Royces in the garage. I wouldn't sell any of them right now unless you're getting back maybe in a Max Crosby deal where you're swapping some salaries and you're getting that premier edge rusher that the Bears need so desperately. But I wouldn't be so quick to give up on DJ, man. You know, and when it comes to Roman Dunze, hey, I think he serves a purpose on this team. I think he can be a fantastic third down receiving wide receiver on this team. So far for me, and so far for, you know, I guess maybe not all of you, the guy drops the ball way too much. He's done it through the entire season, and to his own admittance in his exit interview, he said, I got to hold on to the ball better. I have to be better at catching the ball. Yeah, you're the number 9 pick in the NFL draft, dude. Yeah, you do have to be better at catching the ball. You have to catch touchdowns in NFC divisional championship games. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm a little upset with, and again, I'm a little upset with DJ with his crickets over what ended the not coming out and talking about what ended the Chicago Bears season. That is really aggravated me beyond belief because he's always seemed to be a stand-up guy. He's always put himself in front of the media. He's always kind of asked, taking the tough questions and answering them. This, to me, is bullshit. And that's all I'm going to say about that. We're going to do a free agent show coming up here, guys. We were going to do it today, but there's a lot of ground to cover on this for us. So I don't want to do it alone. But I will tell you, there is a couple of guys that I like for the Bears to add on that interior defensive line. And we'll have to see if they become free agents or not as the season goes along. But Teair Tart out of Los Angeles, phenomenal guy in the middle of the line. He's the unsung hero of that line for the Los Angeles Chargers this year. He's an important player. He's the most important player on the defense, not named Derwin James. Set to be a free agent, 28 years old, signed a 1-year, $4.5 million deal. So we'll have to see if he wants to stay in Los Angeles. He touches the free agent market. And then the other guy that I want to keep an eye on, we'll be playing this Sunday for the Denver Broncos, and his name is John Franklin Myers. Coming off, he's 29 years old, coming off 8 sacks. He's got a great ability to win with his interior pass rush. It's something that the Bears need to covet in this offseason, someone who can dominate, win at the line, and get pressure. He ranked 20th among interior defensive linemen in total pressures, 27. He had in 25, and that's coming off of 24, where he had 53, and he ranked 12th. So this guy definitely can get after the quarterback. He's definitely on a dominant defensive line in Denver right now. So again, we'll have to wait and see what guys come available, when they come available, and how they come available. But I have a long laundry list of players that I'd like to get to, and a long laundry list of players I'd like to get on here. Sheldon Rankins, the Houston Texans, also a free agent. He was a menace and a terror in the center of that line for the Texans this past season. Another guy I'd like to take a look at. And if you can land one of these guys like a Rankins or Myers or somebody, then you give yourself the ability to re-sign an Andrew Billings or Chris Williams on a small deal as a rotational piece. And for me, I'd probably go Billings over Williams. But something to look at. As they sharpen the pencil and this offseason continues to roll through, we're going to see a lot of things. It's going to be a lot of fun. Because I know, as this Bears fan, and I know a lot of Bears fans out there, we're looking forward to see how they are going to build off of the season. Even though Ben Johnson said he's not building off the season, he's starting from scratch going into next season. So we'll have to check on that, and we'll go from there. Yeah, and I love it, Romy, and it's kind of the way I feel about it too. Loveland's 1, Burton's 2, Rome is 3. Scrolls, and I respect your opinion as well, man. Scrolls thinks that Rome is going to be unguardable. Sorry about your Miami Hurricanes, Scrolls. I was pulling for him, brother. But yeah, I'll be honest with you. I hope, Scrolls, you're correct. I do, because Roma Dunze was the 9th pick in the draft. Where I stand right now, I don't think he's living up to the value of the 9th pick in the draft. Not saying that he can't get there, but let's see him put in the work. If you guys remember his scouting combine, he was the last guy out there because he couldn't get a drill right, and he kept on going until he set the time that he was happy with. So he definitely has the will and the want to. Let's see if he can put it together. I mean, I'm rooting for the guy. I'm rooting for the guy. I hope so. I just a natural ability, Scrolls. Luther Burden and Colston Loveland are more talented at everything at the wide receiver position, in my opinion, than Roma Dunze. And that's not to take away from Roma Dunze, because Roma Dunze is a good football player. But I think that's what he is. I think he's a good football player. I think Loveland and Burden are going to be great football players. That's just kind of where I'm at. So, and I'm not going to discount the injury, Dustin. I understand the injury, but before the injury, you can look at the game logs. Look at the game logs. 7 targets, 2 catches. So six targets, 2 catches. 5 targets, 1 catch. So it's either Rome or it's Caleb Williams. Let's be honest. It's one of the two. I'm going to tell you, no one thinks it's Caleb Williams. Not right now. So, we'll see. Look, man, look, I'm not discounting Rome. I hope Rome bounces back and he has a 1,500-yard receiving year. I hope Colston Loveland has a 1,500-yard receiving year, and I hope Burden has a 1,500-yard receiving year. I hope they all blow the fuck up next year, and the Bears pass for 5,000 yards and have the greatest show on earth. I hope so. It certainly seems we're headed in that direction with these guys. So, and obviously, what the Bears did on the offensive side of the ball, we want to see them do on the defensive side of the ball. Who can you get that can help this defense up front on the edge? I know there's a lot of you have a free agent in Joey Bosa. He signed a $12.5 million contract, I believe, last year for a 1-year deal. I don't know if the Bills felt like they got $12 million worth out of him. If he's a little bit past his prime, maybe. Trey Hendrickson, 31 years old, going to garner probably around $25 million if you sign him to a 1-year deal. Maybe you sign him to a 2-3-year deal, but that's going to be a hefty contract as well. But there are things that the Bears can do to move around, and I do believe that they're going to build off this success. I do believe they're going to be in the competition for the NFC North next year, and I do believe that the NFC North is going to be the toughest division in all of football. The Packers get back healthy. The Lions are still talented, even though I think their offensive coordinator hire was probably one of the dumbest moves since they hired Morton. But the Vikings, the Vikings are off season away from getting a quarterback and being just as competitive as anybody else. And losing Flores and Halfley out of the division. We'll have to see who replaces those two gentlemen to see if those defenses can stay on par with where they were. That'll be interesting to see. There's a lot of moving parts in this division right now, and it's going to be interesting to see who replaces who goes where. I did like that McDaniel hire today with Harbaugh. That's going to be interesting, and maybe a good thing for Justin Herbert. Maybe that's the thing that Herbert needed to finally take his game to the next level, because it's definitely there. Yeah, and I'm with you. Somehow they made a worse OC hire. Amon-Ra St. Brown was actually on his podcast today calling us all crazy, saying that, we don't know what we got, and we're going to have to wait and see, and we're judging them too early, da-da-da. I'm like, well, we watched him in Arizona not be able to get the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. We watched him hide Michael Wilson for 3 years until he had to use him, and then you found out he was a star. So I don't know what to make of Princing, man. So I just tend to think that he's not that good, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. But again, as the shows go by here, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna have so much content for you on this offseason. Dustin and Brandon, they'll be back tomorrow with the bare minimum. I'm sure they're going to load you guys up with a ton of thoughts on free agency and some of the things that they think should happen. Um, and like I said, moving forward through this entire offseason, just in a few weeks down the road, where is this thing? A few weeks down the road, 33 days until the NFL Combine, 49 days until free agency, 92 days until the NFL Draft. So we're going to have plenty of content here to hang out with y'all, plenty of things to talk about. 184 days until training camp and 228 days till week 1 till we defend the NFC North champion or division championship. So it should be a fun time. It's going to be a great time. The Northside 9 is going to be kicking back off for our Cub fans out there. We're going to be getting busy back on that here sometime in February. Probably the second week, right around when pitchers and catchers are due, if I can get that out of my mouth. We'll start firing up the Northside 9. I think the Cubbies are going to continue the tradition that the Bears started of winning a division. I think the Cubs are going to win their division. The Bears are going to come back and win their division. The Hawks are on the rise. Chicago sports looking like we're back on the map, baby. It's looking like the arrow's definitely pointing up. We're going to have things to cheer for all year round, and I'm excited about it. And I'm excited about the schedule next year. I know there was a lot of people who were worried, but, I mean, if you just look at the home schedule, the Bears can beat the Bucks. They can beat the Jets. They can beat the Eagles. They can beat the Packers. They can beat the Lions. They can beat the Vikings. They can beat the Saints. The toughest 2 home games they have are the Patriots and the Jaguars. And on the road, I mean, going to Buffalo is going to be tough. It's going to be awesome being in their new stadium. Going to Seattle's definitely going to be come hell or high water. That's for sure. But, I mean, we'll see what Atlanta does. Atlanta's going to be well coached by Stefanski next year. They got some powerful pieces on that offense. We'll see how that quarterback does. But, looking ahead to the schedule doesn't scare me to think that the Bears are going to finish in last place. I wouldn't say calling 17-0, Dustin. But let's see if Kyle's fired up. You fired up, Kyle? No voice. Damn it. Yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting season. And again, everyone's like, oh, the Bears had this toughest schedule in the league. It's a tough schedule. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's a schedule where the Bears can't walk away with 11 wins next year and be competing for the NFC North. So, especially if they build this defense right. You know what I mean? Like, if they build this defense, like they did this offense, man, they're going to surprise a lot of people. Plus, you get more than 5 healthy games out of Kyler Gordon. You have a 100% healthy Jalen Johnson. I mean, just those 2 things alone changed the complexity of the entire defense. We saw a 50% Jalen Johnson, and what we don't know how healthy Kyler Gordon was in 6 quarters. Just look to turn things on their head. So a lot of good things to look forward to. We're going to be here with you guys. Sorry tonight. We're going to be Dustin says, hey, Kyle, just take off the headphones and mic and use the device sound. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. Ron's calling it 0-17. Ron, what happened to you, boss? Whoa, 0-17. Woof. Not like that. Yeah, and I'm with you, Slim. I'm with you, Slim Boogie. I'm not saying, I'm looking at it and saying, from where the Bears were this year to knowing that this brain trust with Dennis Allen and these guys are going to get together and they're going to get the pieces that need to work for this defense, that need to work for Dennis Allen's scheme, I think is going to change a lot of things. And no, can't hear you. Hey, and Noah King. Hey, I haven't seen you, man. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for jumping in with us today. I hope you're right, boss, man. I hope they have more than 11 wins. I hope the Bears have 15 wins, 17. I hope they are 17-0, Dustin. Goddamn, I hope they are. It will be the greatest year of my life if the Bears can go 17. Oh. But I'm gonna keep it. I'm going to keep it in perspective and just say, man, I do like I like the schedule. I don't think you go home, you defend your home next year, like the Bears did this year, having the third loss being the Rams, but having 2 regular season losses, go 500 on the road, you should be in the mix for your division. God knows Green Bay can't beat us, so let's go get them. Let's go get them, man. Ladies and gentlemen, as I said at the beginning of the show, I got a flu that is starting to kick my ass really hard, and I got body aches and chills right now. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go to bed, guys. Don't forget, Dustin and Brandon will be back tomorrow with the bare minimum. They will be on at 11:30, and then I'm not sure if we're gonna be back this weekend. We might. Just please be on the lookout for it. And I really appreciate y'all hanging out with us today. And Slim, I do. Expectations are raised. They need to execute the details at a way higher rate. And if they did that in this Rams game, we'd be breaking down the Seattle game. I agree with you 1,000,000% on that point. That is an absolute fact. And I think for me, Slim, that was probably the most disappointing part of the Rams game was the details and the way the execution of the details, especially in the latter part of that Rams game, especially overtime. You had him in overtime, and as the late great Dennis Green said, we let him off the hook. I wish we would have never have done that, man. But hey, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. We will. Hey, there's a new Sean in the house. Hey, Sean, we're all full of fun today. I'm laying on my deathbed, and thanks for checking us out. Thanks for joining the show. I don't think I've seen you here before, so I appreciate you coming on for a minute, my friend. But unfortunately, like I said, tomorrow Dustin and Brandon will be back at 11:30, and then we'll think about this weekend show. But the boys will be back on Monday as well. Peace and love to everyone. Bear down, and we'll see y'all soon on the other side. Really appreciate y'all coming to hang out with me for just about 30 minutes a day. Peace and love.
Anything you want to get out there before we wrap up?
Shit, fuck Green Bay.
All right.
Fuck yeah.
Let's go.
Fuck yeah.
Can't leave without that, my friends.